My husband informed me that his sister Emma, along with her family, would be moving in. Consequently, I had to relocate to my parents' house, causing a significant upheaval in everyone's lives. In response to the situation, Henry suggested I move to my parents' house temporarily. Expressing my frustration, I questioned Henry about the need for me to shift so that his sister could have a comfortable stay. Our 3-year marriage had been smooth until that day when Henry revealed the news about Emma moving in. Hi, I'm Ava, 27 years old, married to 26-year-old Henry. We initially worked in the same company but in different departments, gradually transitioning from friends to a married couple. After a few months of marriage, I quit my job to freelance, balancing home responsibilities with work. The revelation about Emma moving in created chaos in our previously stable married life. To provide context, Emma, Henry's elder sister, had played a maternal role in his life since their mother's passing when they were young. Despite the initial challenges, Emma became a mother figure to Henry. Emma and Henry lived with their grandparents after Henry's father remarried, eventually moving out for university. When I started dating Henry, he often spoke about Emma's nurturing role, emphasizing her significance in his life. Emma, being like a mother to Henry, had nursed him, consoled him, and protected him during their childhood. Despite the complications arising from her arrival, Henry felt indebted to Emma for her care and support. Overall, the situation brought significant changes to our lives, prompting me to move out temporarily while grappling with the impact on our marriage. Henry and Emma's close bond is understandable, having grown up together without their parents. However, Emma's maternal instincts towards Henry sometimes became intrusive and suffocating. She was overly critical under the guise of protection, even influencing some of Henry's past breakups with her nosiness. Henry, having learned from experience, never introduced his girlfriends to Emma, and I only met her on our wedding day. While Henry cherished Emma deeply, he was well aware of her snobbish attitude. On our wedding day, Emma emphasized our unique relationship, stating how inseparable she and Henry were. During her visits, she left a lasting impression with curt comments, subtly challenging my role. Despite my discomfort, I endured these encounters on important occasions like birthdays and Thanksgiving because of Henry's sense of obligation to his sister. I didn't mind it initially, as Henry always intervened to protect me and made sure I wasn't left alone with Emma. However, things took a turn when my husband informed me that Emma, along with her family, was moving in. I was shocked. The lady I could barely endure for a few hours was going to stay with us, and that was too much of Emma for me. When I asked for details, she mentioned moving in for some time, needing a bigger bedroom for her son Ben, who couldn't sleep comfortably in the guest room. Feeling overwhelmed, Henry suggested we set up the guest room for ourselves. I expressed my concerns about living with Emma, given her crankiness, but Henry reassured me, emphasizing the importance of spending time together. Despite my reluctance, I agreed to let Emma have the bedroom, relocating our belongings to the guest room. Upon Emma's arrival with her family, I was dismayed to see large suitcases, indicating a longer stay than anticipated. As pleasantries were exchanged, Emma began making unusual requests, starting with whether the bedroom was ready. We're exhausted from the journey and need to rest. Please unpack my suitcase and organize our clothes in the closet. Henry, move the TV to the bedroom. My son can't sleep without it. Henry intervened, trying to calm Emma down, questioning the need for so much hassle and rearranging for just a couple of days. However, Emma revealed the surprising news that their house was undergoing a 6-month renovation, and they would be staying with us during this period. Henry and I exchanged glares, both shocked by the unexpected news. Although Henry had suggested they move in with his parents, Emma saw this as an opportunity for the family to spend quality time together. The prospect of 3 months with Emma seemed overwhelming. Henry, sensing my discomfort, helped Emma and her family settle into the bedroom. Later in the guest room, I expressed my frustration to Henry about the 6-month stay. Henry, seriously? 6 months? I can't handle this. Henry, understanding my concerns, explained that even he was unaware of the duration and suggested giving Emma some time to settle in. Despite my reluctance, Henry encouraged me to give it a chance, insisting that once Emma got to know me better, things might improve. Reluctantly, I agreed to give it a shot, although the next few days turned out to be a nightmare for me. I made every effort to accommodate Emma's unreasonable requests, from cooking exotic meals to taking care of her son, Ben, but she offered no assistance with household chores. Fortunately, her husband Henry was kind and empathetic toward me. Henry acknowledged my efforts and offered help, expressing concern for the hard work I was putting in. However, Emma dismissed his offer, insisting that I could manage on my own as a host. After a few days, Henry decided to stay with his parents, closer to home and work, to oversee the renovation. Once he left, Emma L's behavior took a turn for the worse. She upgraded her food requests to demands, specifying dishes like turkey, pineapple pie, and lobster bisque. Despite my reservations, I nodded in agreement. Henry tried to balance his time after work, but Emma insisted on him spending evenings with her. She wanted to relive childhood memories by playing tennis on the lawn, leaving me to manage the household alone. While Emma enjoyed meals and leisure activities, I found myself tirelessly cooking, cleaning, and serving them like a servant. Adding to the challenges, Ben proved to be a handful, breaking the TV remote, damaging the wall clock, and causing havoc in the house. Emma nonchalantly dismissed Ben's mischief, attributing it to typical childish behavior. Each time he damaged something, she sighed and commented on the nature of kids, leaving me to handle the aftermath. I anticipated that you'll understand the challenges once you have your own child. Reflecting on the situation, I couldn't help but think that if my child were to behave similarly, I would ensure they learned a lesson they wouldn't forget. As the exhausting week passed, Emma's demands seemed never-ending. Her wish list grew day by day, and the genie in me was tired of fulfilling her requests. The breaking point came when she handed me a menu card, detailing the different meals she wanted for herself, Ben, and the family. She acknowledged the unconventional nature of her food choices, emphasizing the need for separate meals based on individual preferences. Frustrated, I locked myself in my room, opting to wait for Henry to return. Despite repeated knocks from Emma and Ben requesting coffee and snacks, I chose to ignore them. Upon Henry's return, he confronted me about the situation, informed by Emma's complaints. I handed him the menu card and he, visibly angered, read through the list. Rather than reacting impulsively, Henry suggested a solution. "Let's do one thing," he said calmly. "You can shift to your parents' house for some time." I was taken aback. "Seriously, Henry? You want me to leave so that your sister can have a more comfortable stay in our house?" Henry, trying to handle the situation delicately, responded, "Babe, just give it some time. This might be the best solution for now." With you gone, the concern was how Emma would manage to have a comfortable stay. Who would cook and clean for her? Despite my reservations, I agreed to leave, and Henry assisted me in packing my belongings. As we were about to depart, Emma rushed in a state of panic, questioning our sudden departure. Henry explained that I wasn't feeling well and needed some rest, so he was taking me to my parents' house. Emma, however, insisted that I could rest at their place, offering to help in the kitchen for a few days, and expressing concern about bothering my parents. Henry assured her that I would stay at my parents' until I recovered, promising to return in an hour for dinner together. Emma was skeptical, questioning the duration of my stay. Henry assured her and suggested they have Chinese for dinner, but Emma was disgruntled as we left. It seemed she had just lost a free cook. Upon Henry's return, he informed me that Emma was angry when he went back home. Over the next few days, Emma allowed her son Ben to vandalize the house in an attempt to get back at me. Each time Ben broke something, she would take a picture and send it to me, mentioning the damage caused. Messages like, "Ben broke your flower vase," or "Ben broke your wall paintings," flooded my inbox. I chose not to respond directly but forwarded the messages to Henry, who was gradually losing patience. Attempting to confront Emma, Henry raised the issue, only to have her dismiss it as Ben's mischievous behavior. Despite Henry's efforts, Ben continued to create chaos in the house. The situation escalated as Ben purposefully damaged various items, reminiscing about a past incident where Henry himself had broken a valuable Buddha statue during a visit to Uncle Daniel's house. Despite Henry's insistence, Emma defended Ben's actions, arguing that it was merely a child's misbehavior. The disagreements persisted, but Ben showed no signs of backing off, persistently creating havoc in the house. Henry's respect and affection for his sister were rapidly diminishing. I received a notification that my ATM card had been blocked due to multiple incorrect PIN entries. Strangely, I had left the card at home and didn't attempt any transactions. It was clear that Emma was behind the tampering, though the banking system thwarted her attempts to withdraw money. Relieved, I sighed, only to realize that my wallet, containing both debit and credit cards, was still at risk. Concerned about a potential misuse of my credit card, which didn't require a PIN, I panicked and rushed to contact the bank. Unfortunately, before I could block it, $10,000 had already been withdrawn, reaching the card's credit limit. Frustrated, I contacted the bank to report the unauthorized transaction and declared the card as lost. Losing my patience, I decided to confront Emma and put an end to her actions. I called Henry, explaining the situation and my intention to address the issue immediately. Despite his request to wait, I ignored him and headed straight to my house. Upon reaching home, I was shocked to find it in disarray. Ben had vandalized the living space with scattered cushions, broken toys, and half-eaten fruits. The dinner table resembled a chaotic mess. Emma, seemingly unfazed, was playing with her son on the couch. In disbelief, I confronted her about the state of the house and questioned her involvement in tampering with my cards. Emma, defensive and indignant, rejected the accusations, labeling them outrageous. Threatening to involve Henry, she predicted dire consequences for me, including the possibility of him divorcing me for misbehavior. I couldn't help but stare at Emma's audacious behavior. She attempted to call Henry, who didn't respond initially. After a few minutes, Henry entered the scene and Emma hurried towards him, hugging him tightly. "Henry, thank God you're here. Your wife is accusing me of tampering with her cards. She's harassing me and my son. Chase her out of this house and your life. She's a devil." Henry, however, was not swayed by her theatrics. He rebuked her, asserting, "She's wrong. You didn't tamper with her cards. You stole her cards and the money. I've had enough of you. You're a narcissist. You're no longer the sister who nursed me as a kid. You've become a demon." The force of Henry's words left Emma frozen, and I too stood in shock. Henry's normally composed demeanor was shattered by the gravity of the situation. "Have you lost your senses?" Henry continued, his anger palpable. "He talked to your sister like this. I'm the one who raised you. I nursed you when you were ill. I took care of you. I stood by you when you had no one." Henry expressed his frustration, emphasizing that Emma's actions were causing him significant distress. This confrontation marked a turning point in their relationship. Emma, taken aback by Henry's stern words, began to sob, seemingly attempting to escape the ordeal. Henry, however, wasn't swayed and insisted that she return the cards before leaving. "In that case, I'll leave this place immediately," Emma declared, adopting a defiant tone. "By all means, but before that, give back the cards," Henry demanded. Emma, however, responded with defiance, denying any possession of the cards and accusing me of manipulating Henry against her. She resorted to name-calling, dismissing me as a treacherous woman. Henry wasn't buying into her narrative and insisted that she return the cards and the $10,000 she had withdrawn from the credit card. "Enough! Cut the crap! Give me my card and the $10,000 you've withdrawn from the credit card, or else." Henry's firm tone left no room for negotiation. The confrontation reached a critical juncture, and it was clear that Henry was determined to unravel the truth and hold Emma accountable for her actions. The situation escalated when Ben, in an act of mischief, started playing with the cards and broke them into pieces. Witnessing this destructive act was the final straw for Henry. Filled with rage, he declared, "That's it. I've tolerated you enough. Leave my house right away. I'm breaking all ties with you. I don't want to see your face ever again." Emma pleaded with Henry, desperately trying to salvage the relationship. "Henry, don't do this, please. You're my only family. You can't abandon me." Ignoring her pleas, Henry made a decisive call to Henry, Emma's husband, and narrated the entire situation. Henry, unaware of the extent of Emma's actions due to his busy schedule overseeing house renovations, was shocked upon hearing the details. Henry acknowledged Emma's possessive nature and admitted to facing difficulties in dealing with her insecurities. Emma exhibited controlling behavior, preventing Henry from meeting female friends and colleagues. Even visits from Henry's parents and siblings triggered her crankiness. Upon learning the truth, Henry rushed to our house, expressing sincere apologies to both Henry and me. He offered to compensate for the damages caused by Ben, but Henry declined the offer. Despite Emma's reluctance to leave, Henry took charge, dragging her out of the house. It was a moment of relief for me, as finally I could bid farewell to Emma. With her eviction, the burden of enduring Emma's taunts and humiliations at family gatherings was lifted. The incident became hot gossip among the extended family, with everyone acknowledging how justice was served to Emma. She was left to spend the remaining months at her in-laws' place, where her mother-in-law wasn't making things easy. Henry, choosing to turn a blind eye, wanted Emma to experience the consequences of her actions. I felt a sense of satisfaction that Henry had finally seen through Emma's facade and recognized her true colors. This ordeal marked the end of Emma's disruptive presence in our lives, providing a welcome respite from her toxic influence.